But Shadows of the Empire was a good game, and there's a reason it has so much love. Is because I don't know. I know I'm a couple years younger than you, so maybe you had to be a little bit younger to appreciate the game in itself, and maybe you were overthinking it with your big boy brain. So, number 5 on my list is a game that I went to a Star Wars convention and went to this panel and was so excited for this game. So excited. And then I got to play said game and I was just like, where's my campaign? Where's like any of the fun stuff? Like multiplayer was okay, but it was kind of broken. And that game is Star Wars Battlefront, the 2015 version.
The first one?
Yeah, from DICE. The first one.
That's your pick for number 5. Okay.
Not the OG from
like
2003, but the one from 2015 that looked real pretty.
It does.
And did not deliver. There was no campaign. It was a $60 game that was just glorified Battlefront in space. You didn't have any space battles. The leader, the hero and villains were subpar. It just didn't have a longevity to it. So was it not fun? No, it had its moments, but it just couldn't stick with you. There's a reason no one's playing it anymore. Not just because Battlefront 2 came out and it's a far superior game. But yeah, it's just there's nothing special about it.
What does it make? It doesn't make it the worst, one of the 5 worst Star Wars game ever. Really?
As a humongous disappointment? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Was the gameplay functioning correctly?
No, not when I played it. It wasn't.
When you aim your gun at someone, will they get shot?
That does not make it functioning, and you
Were
freaking
the graphic awesome and jaw dropping?
No.
Yeah.
No, it honestly it looked pretty. It did. It just didn't function very well. It didn't function very well. It wasn't a great game.
Did you have all those cool missions like attacking the Death Star trench?
I love how your debate is literally like pointing out these like very basic things when we all know you are such a nitpicky bitch about things.
The thing is that we're trying to find the top 5 worst game ever, and you brought something that is slightly disappointing.
No, super disappointing. How many hours did you put into Battlefront?
The first one?
Yeah.
Too much.
You were very easy to please with Star Wars then.
I
bought it and maybe played it for 5 hours.
I would agree with you. It has a lot of flaws and it's far from perfect, and I was potentially disappointed as well. But top 5, 5th worst Star Wars game ever? Really?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's going in there because of the fact that it's just I would play other bad Star Wars games for the fact that it's nostalgic. You know, there are worse games that I thought of, and I was like, no, I would still play them for nostalgia. And they're super difficult and super hard, like Super Empire Strikes Back on the Super Nintendo. That's an awful game, but I'd still play the shit out of it. Battlefront, awful game. I'm not playing it.
Well, you can't
never
anymore,
catch me playing it
because it's only a multiplayer game. Because if nobody plays it, you can't. Okay. That's where we're going to.
Yeah.
When do we go with mine?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, unlike Agathon, I understood the assignment, and I went to pick up some of the top 5 worst Star Wars games that were ever made. So, my game here will be Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike, the 2003 game for the GameCube. You play this one, Agathon?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Okay. Rogue Squadron is by far one of my favorite video game series. The first one on Nintendo 64 was awesome. It was part of my top Star Wars game. The second one that came out to GameCube, Rogue Leader, was jaw-dropping. The graphics at the time, they were like just you spawn in space, and I've watched videos from time to time on YouTube. It still holds up to this day. These games were awesome because you could pilot all the ships. I'm sorry, the V-wing, the X-wing, the A-wing, the Millennium Falcon, even the Naboo starfighter. And the game is called Rogue Squadron. So you expect you're gonna pilot some spaceship, right? What does Rogue Squadron Rebel Strike do? They put you in the hands of an infantry guy on the ground, and they make you play with very sluggish control where you can aim anywhere. And why? You lose everything you like about the game. For some reason, it focuses on land combat. So, controls are terrible, very hard to aim. There's no more fast speeding chase in the X-Wing. You now control a sluggish AT-AT. So, yeah. They took this very exciting space shooting dogfight game and made it a standard boring FPS with bad control and terrible aim. So that is why this terrible, disappointing mess would be my number 5 on our debate.
You know, both games that we've both brought forth are awful. I would say the only thing that makes yours better than mine is you do still get to pilot ships. You don't get to do that in Battlefront. It's the only thing I would say that makes it better.
You can pilot ship in Battlefront. What are you talking about?
In the first one, it was.
Yeah, there's space battle.
I don't think so.
There
Not
is
in the
space
very
battle.
first
Yes,
one.
yes. You even have the Death Star trench run you can do.
Oh shit! Apparently that game just is so fucking unrememberable. I don't even remember being able to do the best part of any Star Wars game. So, I agree that that game is dog shit. I completely agree that that game is dog shit. I'm supposed to fight for mine. I still think mine.
I'll take
I
the 3
still
points.
think mine is. I still think mine is a pretty shitty game. So, yeah. I mean, I got no more argument for that. Both games are pretty shitty.
Yeah, mine is much shittier.
Mm,
And this is how you win a debate.
You're gonna hate my list so much, by the way.
Well, I was about to say the same, but so far you kind of agreed with me.
My number 4 was your number 5. Rogue Squadron 3.
Oh!
Rebel Strike.
Okay, well...
Yeah, it, there's not much I can say beyond what you already said, except for the fact that, everything about that game was hot trash. Absolutely everything. The loading screens were abysmally long for even the GameCube. And when you'd get in, you'd die on pretty much anything, and then you'd have to sit and wait for the loading screen again. And it just, the piloting the ships was atrocious. The AT-AT that you mentioned, slow as hell, sluggish, so bad. And with how many other games LucasArts was coming out with at the same time for the same console, i.e. Jedi Outcast 2, and then soon later using the same engine, Jedi Academy,
or
they
Naboo
know how to
Starfighter.
make... Yeah, well, they know how to make a first-person shooter. So if you're going to tell people that, hey, you're going to be on the ground now shooting at things, take a page from your own fucking book here. Like, we know you can do it. And it was 10 years, like... It was like games 10 years before, as far as the quality of the shooter. Like, fucking GoldenEye had better controls, and with the big N64 controller than this game had. It was abysmal, atrocious. Everything about it was horrible, including the story mode. There was no redeeming qualities, and I am so mad because I saved up and spent money on this and could have bought a different game. But no, I bought this fucking game. All right.
And then the first one was so good, the second one was so good, and they came... I'm not gonna give you points for that, but yeah, I kind of agree with you on this one. These are our like, this is where we shine, I think, Asparagus, like in these Star Wars games. These are our childhoods. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you props when I feel you deserve it, like I did in the last one. And I hope you do the same, because I feel like we're kind of coming from a similar place. So as much as we're debating, even if we're tied and no one wins, I think we're literally just gonna have a fun conversation of what we think are the worst fucking Star Wars games of all time.
What was your first feeling when you ended up, you buy the game, you're so excited, you say, I'm going to play the follow-up to Rogue Leader, it's going to be awesome. Bang, you're on the ground.
I thought, I was confused, but I'm like, I had already played Star Fox Adventures at this point, which it did a similar thing where it was like, we're gonna put you on the ground, you're gonna run around and shoot things. I'm like, okay, we're doing a little bit of a platforming thing. I actually am like one of the only people who enjoyed Star Fox Adventures until I
Yeah,
got to a level I couldn't beat.
at least it was
And
functioning, right?
yeah, and I couldn't beat it because I was not good enough at the game, not because it wasn't, working. But this one was just the controls were just, I thought my controller was broken. I had to unplug it and put in a Mad Catz controller to see if that worked better. It didn't. But it was such a shitty game, so disappointing. It was $60 for like a, I don't know, how old was I? Like 13 years old, something like that. It's not easy.
Oh,
Not
you
easy.
saved your money at 13 to buy that.
Yep.
Yeah, it must feel bad. Okay, well, I have to give you props for this one because I agree. This game was a piece of shit. But so is my pick for number 4. The game is called Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. I'm just gonna make sure to mention 2, or maybe we do it this way 2, right? That's why we do 2. Uh, Force Unleashed 1 was a masterpiece. Was one of my
It was
favorite game ever.
it was so much fun.
I play it again these days from time to time just for the fun of the force powers. Pick up enemies with the force and slam them to the ground, throw them in the ditch, and pick up a TIE fighter run and just throwing down on a group of enemies. That was awesome. The game, well, there was so much QTE, but that's another debate. I'm not a fan of QTEs, but yeah. The game as a...
You don't like cuties?
No, I don't like cuties. Especially when they're E's. QuickTime events. When it says match
Only
X, match
only
what?
one game did it okay.
Which one?
Resident Evil 4. Only game that did it well.
Didn't
And that
play
was
it.
like the first time I ever saw him was in that game.
So you can understand coming out of this masterpiece when you come out with a very, very short game that lasts for 4 hours, that reuse some of the same levels, that doesn't bring anything else, and that crashes all the time for $60 for full price, how you would feel a bit cheated, right? They brought one thing, dual wielding. Was it worth $60 to replace some of the previous levels for 4 hours? So this is, as you said, mostly a disappointment that a bad game. Because I would say, as its own, if the game was $5 on Steam, I would say buy it if you didn't play the first one. It works when it doesn't crash every 5 minutes. The game is okay. It's still what today's day the PC. Don't touch the PC version. Today's day PC version
No.
is still extremely bugged. It crashes every 30 minutes. But to be honest, given the length of the game, you're not gonna have a lot of crashes. Because after 5 hours, it's done. I was proud of this line when I wrote it. So yeah. So the disappointment and failure after what was most of the best Star Wars game ever, which makes it a good addition to the list, in my opinion.
You know, it was it was a pretty game. I remember playing it. I enjoyed cutscenes. I enjoyed getting into the storyline of the Force Unleashed 2 game. Um, you got to murder Ewoks. That was pretty neat. Um, and you got to feel like a god. You were just running around and you were so powerful. The game worked. The
When
game
it worked.
the game worked. When I played that one, it worked. Was it short? Oh yeah. Yeah. Was it repetitive? Yes, very repetitive. Were QuickTime events really stupid? Oh, absolutely, abysmally stupid. Did it work? Were you able to play the game all the way through in like 3.5 hours? Yes.
Unless you bought the PC version.
Unless you bought the PC version. I did not. I bought the Xbox version. Worked great. Uh, cannot be said. The same cannot be said about Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike.
In 1997, someone at Lucasfilm had the brilliant idea to start some kind of a multimedia project based on a movie that without releasing a full motion picture. You know how it turned out? They tried to make some kind of big splash with a game, with comics, with the little comics, with the animated figures and little animated, not movies but sketch. And they tried to do something as big as Star Wars, outside of Star Wars, with a new character that was called Dash Rendar. And it was it was some kind of Han Solo light, like if you buy Han Solo on Wish. And it feels to me like they wanted Han Solo all along and they didn't get it right, but that's another story. This game, this abysmal game that apparently is well loved from what I've seen in my research today, is called Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. It came out in 1997 on the N64 and is my first ever disappointment as when I was young. I think I had a similar story to yours with when you talk about the Rogue Squadron World Leader 3. I bought this game with my hard-earned money when I was something like 12, 13. I really wanted this game because it looked awesome. I put it in my Nintendo. First mission, okay, not so bad. You play the Battle of Hoth. Controls are a bit wonky, but the graphics are ugly, but okay, fine. It's still the Battle of Hoth. Okay, shooting little probe droids. Then, bang, you get thrown into the caves on Hoth with a sluggish character that can only shoot right in front of him with some kind of weird camera angle where you cannot see anything. And you need to actually all the time it's impossible to shoot because you need to move your character itself all around. The controller is responsive. The graphics were terrible at the time. They tried to do some kind of big splash, but as I said, some kind of multimedia project. It didn't work. It failed. And there you go. Dash Runner is pretty cool. I'll give you that. But we already have Han Solo. Why do a second Han Solo? I was never able to finish the game. There's a mission when you control a speeder bike and you do some kind of racing in Mos Eisley and in Beggar's Canyon, and it just goes so fast and the control is so bad that as a kid, I would always end up crashing myself in the wall, and I just gave up on the game. And that was my first ever video game disappointment. So for that reason, I think it should be on the list.
So, my first question to you is: when you were playing this, did you ever have the idea of possibly to get good?
I was 12.
I actually got my first comment tonight, and it's a hate comment for you, basically.
Oh.
That Shadows is my all-time favorite game.
Oh, damn.
Shadow of the Empire was one of the first Star Wars games I ever played, and I couldn't disagree with you more. Like, it was on the N64. It could have the shitty graphics. The controls weren't great, but I honestly played more of Shadow of the Empire than I did of GoldenEye because at least the controls were forgiving.
Why did you hate yourself that much?
I don't. Well, I mean, I hated myself for a long time, but that's a whole nother topic. But Shadows of the Empire was a good game, and there's a reason it has so much love. Is because I don't know. I know I'm a couple years younger than you. So maybe you had to be a little bit younger to appreciate the game in itself. And maybe you were overthinking it with your big boy brain.
It was... I know, you came out after Zelda, Ocarina of Time, after Star Fox at 64. These games are gorgeous, especially. So you can't use the excuse that it's on the next 64. You can expect much. This game looks like crap.
You got fog elements in that game, which is new for video games. Like you had there's like atmosphere, there's like weather going on in this game. It was trying to push the envelope. And did it succeed
no,
really well?
Not.
No.
Did not.
But it looked, in my eyes, playing on the N64, it looked fantastic. It was like, this is so cool. And the gunplay, it wasn't great, but nothing on the N64 was great gunplay. You could say GoldenEye, and honestly, GoldenEye is remembered for so many reasons, but mostly because it was like multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like it was the first one you could go and just murder your friends. Was
No,
was it really well gunplay? No. No, there were so many things wrong with it. You could just be odd job and you could kill everybody.
don't get me wrong.
But
GoldenEye's shooting is not perfect. It's already 10 times better than this crappy thing that you have shadow in it. When you need to align your character right in front, okay, left, it's just so clunky, and you shoot, it goes left to, oh fuck, I'm missing. And for someone who has motion sickness, that's the worst sin you cannot. So this is a game you cannot play if you have motion sickness because aiming is impossible.
there's one thing that it did though, and that was what one of the things that you said it was poorly is it was trying to create this new thing. The thing is we didn't have a plethora that we have now of new Star Wars IPs. Like you can throw a stick and you're gonna get excuse me, a new Star Wars IP. Back then this was new. This wasn't the retelling of the same story we've seen from the movie. This is something new. And as the commenter, there's so many Easter eggs in the film too for Star Wars fans. Yeah, Star Fox was not beautiful. I will say it wasn't beautiful.
It was.
But it was fun as hell.
Yeah.
Star Fox 64 was just fun as hell, and it was colorful. The colors added in there. You can't talk about war and conflict and darkness. That makes Asparagus uncomfortable. He'll just bring up Endgame again. Um, but no, I personally don't understand why this one's on your list. I think it mostly boils down to how you felt at that time, that period in your life, and I can respect that. Because The Force Unleashed 2, I will admit how poor that game was because of the fact that I bought it along with Fable 2 and another game that is kind of forgetful. But I bought these 3 games, and out of those 3, Force Unleashed 2 was the worst, and it was such a horrible experience. And then you had Fable 2, which I think is a fantastic game. Yeah, Fable 2!
Force Unleashed was at least better than Shadow of the Empire. At least the game worked. I'm okay. Maybe you put that on the player being bad, and maybe I need to get good, as you said. I've tried to replay Shadow of the Empire many years ago, 5-6 years ago, as an adult. Same thing. You can aim for shit. The graphics just throw me out, and I'm still not able to do the race mission without crashing horribly everywhere.
I think that comes down to we're a little spoiled. Like there are games that you can go back and play based on their art style, like Mario 64. It's so colorful.
Yeah.
But when you have a game that tried to be had tried to look really, really good, like next gen graphics, those are the ones you can never go back and play again. Like, can you see in 15 years someone going back and playing any Call of Duty games?
No.
For the joy of it? No, absolutely not, because they were next gen. They were there to look pretty, but they were not aesthetically pleasing for people.
Well, they're going to remake it till 25 times. You're going to get a remake or a remaster anyway, so probably some kind of...
But games like Fable or games that didn't rely on graphic intents, I think for us now are really hard to go back and play. During the time, we're like, hell yeah, these are so much fun. But yeah, they just... now, because we're playing all these next gen, they're just going to look like shit. So there's like Sega Genesis games that I'll still go back and play because of the way that they put in their graphics. They utilize those 2D art styles to get you these beautiful images on such a limited space. So I think that I can say, yeah, as an adult, you probably can't play Shadows of the Empire. I probably couldn't play Shadows of the Empire. Mine's based solely on my emotions and how I felt when I played it, much like yours are on your emotions when you played it.
Bring it on. What's yours?
So I don't even feel like these are all that comparable in that there is a good I guess only like 12 years. I don't know. I just think of Shadows of the Empire as like 30 years ago. But mine is Clone Wars Republic Heroes.
This is one I didn't play.
It's one where it's like one of the first games where it let you like Battlefront games where it's like you are playing as a squadron, you are taking on some of these big environments. Like it almost felt like it should have been like Battlefront 3. Like that's how they sold it to us. And
it was not.
It was not. It was not, and it went through some of the missions and stuff that you play through in Clone Wars, but the game itself was so freaking broken, and not just on one system. It was broken on everything it was put on.
Oh, was
Wii,
that the game?
PC, Xbox 360, PS3.
Was that the game when you had
Bro.
some kind of isometric view, the camera like on top and it's an angle, weird angle that you could.
Yup.
Oh, I
Yup.
played this one. I remember that was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it is god awful, unplayable. You get to play as heroes too in it, but you you wouldn't. There's no reason for it because how they have it in there is you're just gonna get shot by droids and die. Like you can't, you don't really deflect. You have to aim your character and try and deflect him, and you're gonna fail because you have 30 different things. So you're gonna take a trooper and you're gonna try and shoot as many as you can before you just get murdered. Um,
At least it looked pretty.
I honestly like. I was hoping it would look like the show. And they would use similar because I mean you don't have to be super graphically intense to make an animated style like that. I feel like they couldn't find the right blend between what the show looked like versus what the movie looked like. Um, and it just poor controls, everything. It was almost the exact same game over and over and over and over. Guess what? Guess what? You're killing this mission. It's droids, and they're gonna start off with just sending the regular droids at you. But then guess what? You're gonna get super battle droids. Guess what's after that? Droidicas.
And yeah, androids are
Wash.
boring to kill when you're a Jedi, right? Because technically you're like super powerful. So just what's the point?
Yeah. It was boring. It was war, and it was boring. So boring.
Okay, I think I'm
So
confusing games. That was a game I played was based on the Clone Wars that had the Clone Wars series aesthetic. You could play on the side, but the game was I thought it was a game where you have like fully open, well not open world, but you have so many freedom and you just the cameras on the side and just follow a set up path and you just like almost a beat them all and just go ahead and just shoot and go ahead and then the game tells you oh you can have a power here but it just highlights the thing so you don't have you just like push the button and the Jedi does the thing and it's not even fun because you're not doing anything. What is
yeah,
that the one? That's the one.
that is the one. Yeah, it's almost
Okay.
like a platformer type thing,
I
but you couldn't like as you're moving, like you'll hit like mazes where it's like, well, when you jump, you got to aim towards you, and it just never worked. It was just broken.
Okay, well, I can give you that this one was pretty bad. I downloaded it on the Xbox Arcade. I think it was when on the 360 I got it for free. It was an arcade. I downloaded it. I played for 10 minutes and I stopped and I never turned it on again.
Fair enough.
Which
Yeah, I
is
mean, I don't blame you.
which
And
is less than I played Shadow of the Empire because I was so hyped about this game and I really wanted to buy it and I bought it with my money and it was sold. Like I remember the thing you saw the most in the ads were the Battle of Hutt they were showing you, and I was like, yeah, it's so good. It's not as good as Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron did it better, but still, it's the Battle of Hutt. I want to play that, and then no, you're gonna be this guy that cannot turn.
I need to go back and like look at gameplay of Rogue Squadron because I remember playing that on the N64 and going, "This looks so real.
Yeah,
This looks so realistic." And I can't say that about Shadows of the Empire.
no,
But different games, different styles, and honestly, Rogue Squadron probably utilized more 2D images mixed in with their 3D elements, which I think probably helped out a ton. I gotta
okay.
eat
Well,
some
you
more
want to go
Easter
with number
candy.
two?
I think let's have you go first. I stole your thunder last time and went first, but it should have been you. I think,
Okay,
or was it
let's
me?
see.
I don't know.
That's four. Number two, three, two, and number one is here. So number two here will be a game that I don't think any one of you might have played. This is a very, 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 very old game, Agathon. I'll be quite surprised if you played it. It's called Yoda Stories. You play that?
Not
Oh,
much,
you played
but I
it.
have. I have.
This game, I played it as a kid because it was one of the only Star Wars game I had. I had it for free. I don't remember how. It came maybe with a box of cereal or something on a CD. I don't remember, but I got a game for free. I'm quite happy because I would not have paid for that.
Oh, what did you play it on?
On
PC?
the old PC, yeah. Very
I
old
played it on the
laptop.
Game Boy.
Oh, it wasn't Game Boy.
So I wonder
Okay.
if there were different ports or if it was the
Possibly.
same game.
Well, the game was terrible. It was very, very, very bad looking. It was some kind of point and click game that you can see a bit from top, kind of trying to be a some kind of imitation of Zelda: A Link to the Past, where you can see everything from top down view, and you walk as Luke Skywalker, and you could just swing your lightsaber or shoot your gun, but you don't have like in Zelda many different attacks or angles. It's just bzz, bzz, bzz. There's no animation. It's just a lightsaber that appears and goes back. So it's not even animated. The game is the characters look like bobblehead. I don't like it, but I guess it was a aesthetic choice made on purpose at the time, which I think was a terrible idea. But at least giving points for trying something, right? You go on a bunch of mundane, randomly generated quests. So at least the game is the first game I played that was procedurally generated. So you when you do it, technically it's not supposed to be the same every time, but it's the same every time anyway, because you have two quests: search for an objects or fight with Jawas. That's what you would do. The maps were little, and also for a game that is called Yoda Story, Yoda barely makes an appearance because you play as Luke Skywalker. So I dislike this game a lot. It kind of occupied me for a while because that was all I had. And you can understand when I played this game for a long time, and then I see an advert for uh, Star Wars: The Shadow of the Empire coming out, and I get so excited. And I said, finally, I'm gonna get a good Star Wars game, and I don't. so,
I mean,
so
you
that's gonna
did.
be
You
my
just
pick for number two.
you know, I'm looking at it now and all I can think of is just Funko Pops.
Yeah,
That's what you're playing as is a Funko Pop. I actually played this game after I played the original Game Boy version of Empire Strikes Back, which was one of the most difficult games I've ever played. I never got past like the second level of that game ever. And so I played Yoda Stories. It's not difficult. It was just you just walked around and I was like, this is interesting. Um
it's nothing, right? It's not even
yeah,
difficult. There's no puzzles. You just walk around. You press the bzz, bzz, button. There's
yeah,
no
and you have
animation.
like
You have no feedback of everything. The Jawas just teleport from tile because it's tile based. So you
mhm.
just move like Jawas just be in this tile and then will be on this side. It doesn't even work. Just tuk, 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 tuk. It's impossible to shoot the enemies because they're unpredictable. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
shit on every aspect.
it almost seems like it was just a cheap like here's a quick game we can throw out there that doesn't cost a whole lot to make and kids are gonna love it. And honestly, I probably played it for quite a maybe I don't know. I remember playing it, but I don't remember really playing a ton of it. I still went back to Empire Strikes Back and just kept losing over and over and over again. So I think I might be with you. Like it's shitty. It's not memorable enough. Like it's something that's in the back of my mind, but I don't really remember playing. I don't even like I'm looking at pictures now. I don't even remember some of these maps.
I'm looking at pictures of the Game Boy version, and it seems even worse. So it appears that I played the superior version, and even then,
Sounds about right. I don't know. Like I don't remember any of this. Like I remember Tatooine, but no. All right, I'm with you. This is a pretty shitty game, but I think a lot of these ports were just pretty shitty or just cheap. What can we do to reskin a different game
yeah,
to make it so we can sell more copies of
true.
something over and over again? And I feel like you had that with, the Super Star Wars games on the Super Nintendo. They're fun. They're interesting to a point where you can look at them and go, "All right, that's Star Wars," but just recreations of something else. So, uh now
What's
My
yours? What is yours?
mine
Bring it on.
I'm pretty sure anyone who knows anything about Star Wars games knows this game was going to be on one of our lists. And I don't even know if there's much I need to talk about it, but it's Star Wars Connect.
That's cheap shot. You instantly win.
I played it, and oh my god, was it horrid.
Yeah.
It was just god awful. Like all these things that we were promised with the Connect alone, we didn't get anything we were promised with for it. But then what was the highlight of Connect is you got to see Han Solo dancing. That was
Oh,
it.
that song became a meme forever. It made so many YouTube careers, so at least something came out of it, right?
I guess, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
on
But
solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. Solo.
were you the motion capture for Solo? I
I
mean,
wish I was.
yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty
It
good.
was everywhere
Um,
forever.
yeah, it's an atrocious game. There's no redeemable qualities from this game. Like I was watching a video and I'm just why is this game why is it here? Why was it created? Anything. It's just like I'm looking at a video now and it's some of the stuff that we were promised is like you can lightsaber battle your friends and use the
Um,
force and oh my god, it's so broken.
the only
Pod
reason that
racing.
it's not on my list is because I didn't play it myself because I saved myself from it. But I thought of something earlier today. There's a mission. Well, there's one mode because I think there's like 6 modes on the game that you can play for 5 minutes each, and you've seen everything. It's called Rancor Rampage,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you just play as a Rancor that just moves around, and just what you do is you move your hands around, and the Rancor, because it's Connect, and the Rancor just destroys things, and it's in Mos Eisley, and it just destroyed the city. So I was thinking, do you think that was the inspiration for the end
For
of the book
Boba
of Boba
Fett.
Fett?
They were playing. It was like, this is such a good game. We got to bring this back somehow. Let's bring it. Let's bring it back.
Let's throw a Rancor
Boba-
out in Mos Eisley or
Boba
Mos
Fett
Espa, right?
Oh my god, I think you're onto something. Yeah. But God, you know what? A shitty system that was the Connect alone, but adding Star Wars to it. Ah, God, that was just abysmal. I don't even think I need to talk about it anymore. I don't think there's a single person that played that game and was like, "Game of the year, right here." I've lost weight playing this game. It's amazing. No,
It
fucking
gave us
bullshit.
so much good memes, so much content. So many people made a million views YouTube video at the time saying how the game was shit. So at least some people got something out of it.
I guess. I guess. Ugh.
It also brought the one thing I dislike. Why I don't play some VR games most of the time is because well, they don't have find out how to do the controls, and on the some reason you're limited by the room you're in. But mostly in VR games, you'll be on the spot, then you can accomplish an action, and then you're just gonna point like there, and then your character is gonna teleport and be there. You cannot just walk freely wherever you go. You just teleport your camera from space to space. And the first time I've seen that was in the Jedi Battle campaign from this game, Kinect, where you will be a Jedi holding a lightsaber, just having some droid shooting at you, and just block. And then when it's done, your character is going to be teleported next spot, and you cannot move, you cannot walk, you cannot just dodge and say, "Okay, I'm going there. Oh, there's a droid. I'm going to run there and smash them." Then just stay here, clear the encounter, be teleported. It's like the old school rail shooter, right? When you just you are the camera just moves and you just shoot on the screen and you have absolutely no control on what's going on.
You know, that made me think. I have a friend who has a VR unit, and he let me try that new Star Wars game that, I mean, it's not new anymore. I guess it's been over a couple of years, but it was episodic. And one of it, you like fight Darth Vader in it. I enjoyed the hell out of that. You're sitting there and you're like in a spaceship and you can like see buttons and touch stuff. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. But the same thing is just like, you can't like walk around. I'm ready
Yeah.
for Ready Player One sort of VR if I get into it.
At the same time, how can they do that? You need to be on a treadmill somehow because
Something,
you
yeah.
cannot just go forward and I'm gonna go run after this guy, bang bang. Then you run into your wall and you break your head.
Yeah, and then they'll come out with it. And no one will do it because it's exercise, and nobody wants to do exercise. So, yeah, I mean, can you imagine playing Battlefront 2 but you're in a VR suit, but someone else is using a controller, and you're like, oh fuck, I can't run anymore. Okay, and the other guy's just like, I'm great. Pew pew.
Well, that'd be awesome. It just hides in the trench. Dude, I'm take my gun. I can't do anything.
Yeah, I'm just, oh god.
He's a
Dying.
grenade. Sorry, a thermal detonator. My bad.
Thermal. Yeah, and then when you have to play as a hero in Battlefront or something in the VR, and you're like, "It, oh my god, I pulled something in my arm. Oh Jesus, no. We're either gonna get super physically fit, or we're just never gonna use it.
I kind of wait for the day it's a thing, though. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can argue with your pick. I think both picks are bad. Kinect Star Wars was bound to be in the list. It's
Yeah,
not mine
absolutely.
because I didn't play it. I cannot fault you for putting here because that's absolutely a train wreck and a trash fire. So, yeah, you're not going to see any opposition from me on this one.
Both games are trash.
Both
Both
games are
games
trash.
are absolute trash.
But I think yours is even trashier because it was sold as a big thing. It was supposed to be a system seller. It was marketed so
Yeah.
much. Mine is just a little throwaway game that I found in a cereal box and that.
When I wanted to do this list, which was my very first episode, you guys were like, "What should we do?" And I was like, "Well, you did the, 10 best Star Wars games. How about we do the, the worst Star Wars games?" So I've had this list for what, like 2 months now.
Oh,
And I've rotated some games out because I'm like, no, I think this one should. Number one has stayed number one this entire time. If you ever asked me what is an awful Star Wars game, this is the game that comes to mind.
go ahead. I'm curious now. Is this the one I'm
Uh,
going to be angry about?
I thought you were going to be angry about Force Unleashed 2 that I ended up kicking off my list because you already did it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
if you put
because
Force
I
Unleashed
thought,
1, I would have kicked you out of the show. But
yeah, absolutely. I understand that one. But no, Force Unleashed 2, I was like, he might like that one. I don't know. He likes stupid things sometimes. Must be the French Canadian thing. I don't know. Number one worst Star Wars game ever created. Star Wars Obi-Wan on the original Xbox.
is it that bad?
It is so bad. I played a lot of games in my day, ones that I think were some real shitty games. Obi-Wan is the one where I was just like, I might have spent 6 hours wanting to love that game and walked away going, I just want to snap this fucking game in half. I love Obi-Wan. Like even before Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith came out, I was like, Obi-Wan is like my favorite. And he has a game about him? This has got to be great. And the way they sold the game, it was just like, so you move with your left trigger and your right trigger swings your lightsaber in whichever direction that you swing it.
Oh.
How do you look around?
How do you look around?
So you're swinging, but all of a sudden your other character, like the one you're trying to fight, is over here now on the other side of you, and you're like, shit. And then you got to swing again, and same problems, but they were really good at killing you with lightsabers, but when you were trying to kill them with lightsabers, no.
No?
It was so broken. Everything about the game was just awful. And I've seen people like do like playthroughs of the game. I don't know how. I honestly do not know how. I still own the game. Maybe I need to put it back in my system and just give it a try again.
Maybe there's one thing you could do about this game. Because I seen a video about it, and there's one way to beat the game that maybe you didn't consider yet.
What is it? What is it?
Maybe you want to get good at the game.
Yeah, is that what I want to do? Maybe in my younger mind just couldn't comprehend this game. But fuck, it was awful. Voice acting was atrocious. It looked just gross. It was a god awful looking game. And the controls, it was impossible to control.
But it came at the same time as Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace, the game, right? You played this one?
I thought Phantom Menace came out first.
Because I seem to remember seeing these games at the Blockbuster coming out at the same time. And Phantom Menace was... as bad. And now I'm thinking I should have put it on my list.
Yeah. See, that one was released in 1999. And I think that one was released on the original PlayStation. Um,
Phantom Menace
Obi-Wan.
game came out in '99 as well.
Well, yeah, the Obi-Wan came out in 2001.
Okay, okay.
Yep. And that one came out just for the Xbox. It was an Xbox exclusive. And
Yeah,
like
I
I'm looking
remember
at the
that.
trailer and I'm like, wow, that looks like what I eventually got from Jedi Academy.
That's what you were expecting, right?
Something like that. And I didn't get it until I played Jedi Academy and I was like, this is epic. This is awesome.
So the way you felt about this game seems to be exactly the same way I felt about Shadow of the Empire.
Yeah, yep. But also this was a shitty game.
Both were shitty games. I didn't get to experience this game myself, although I've seen a video recently. It's funny you say that. I think I remember seeing that a few months ago about a guy trying to redeem the game and talking about how it was great and very struggling to find reason why the game was great. I was looking at it. I said, "This looks like shit. This looks like garbage control." The guy doesn't even seem to be allowed to be capable of aiming where he wants to be. He's trying to do some double jumps and he just ends up flying everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I'm watching a video. He has yet. Oh, there he hit someone. There's like 7 people around him, and he just missed like 6, 7 times. It's just, oh, you know what this means? I'm gonna have to figure out a way to play this on stream.
That's what I was about to say. Maybe you should try to find a way to.
Hook up my OG Xbox up to stream and play this freaking thing.
You know what? Maybe now I want to play Yoda story on stream.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That might even be more difficult.
But no, I think you can beat the game in 20 minutes. So okay, well that's a good pick. I didn't play it, so I cannot debate you too much on this one. But I would agree that everything I've seen about this game seems to indicate it is a trash fire. But is it as much as a trash fire as my pick for number one? I think not. This will be very weird because my pick for the top worst tower game ever, I think, was exactly the same game I pick as my top best Star Wars game ever. And you will understand, the worst Star Wars game ever that I listed today is Star Wars Battlefront 2 for PC. The recent one, the 2018 one. Why would you say? I see your puzzled eyes right now.
Oh, sorry. Was I doing that out loud?
Yeah. The game is great now. But everything that came with it at release was not. The game was pay to win. It was a broken mess. There were loot crates everywhere. Game devs laughed at player for asking. You remember that Pink Vader comment? That moment when people asked for customization, and then the game dev said, "Yeah, but surely people don't want to have a pink Darth Vader. Why would you make some customization?" And then they ended up giving us so many customization, like Count Dooku in a fucking bathrobe. But no pink Darth Vader though.
Hello Kitty Darth Vader. I want the Hello Kitty Darth Vader.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
They finally caved. They redesigned everything and they fixed it, but it was too late. The damage was done. Their game reputation was torn to shit. Nobody wanted to play it anymore. There's no server browser. There's no way to choose your map. So let's say you want to play the Battle of Hutt. Well, buckle up. You're going to have to wait potentially 5 or 6 games on random maps you don't care a shit about just to have the right to play the game you want to. Just dumb map rotation that you have no control over. No one plays the game anymore. And it's a shame because it is a damn good game right now. I love it. I played so much of this game, but I played alone. So for that reason, they took something that was pretty good and they throw it down they destroy it so much. They fucked it up. So they killed a perfectly working game with greedy mechanics and stupid decision. And maybe I'm getting a bit emotional with this one, but that's why, for me, it will be always marked as the worst Star Wars game ever. Because they could have been the best. And they fucked it up. They fucked it up so bad. It became a meme, a rising joke. And you cannot even say to people you like this game anymore. Because they're going to laugh at you. Oh, you like pay-to-win games. And then you say, yeah, it's fixed now. and you just like a game apologist. So I just shut my mouth about it, and I just play on my own.
You know, I've never paid money for this game. I think I've stated this before on streams. I've never paid money for it. I've gotten it free on PlayStation and I've gotten it free on computer. I've played the shit out of this game,
Me
and
too.
it is a goddamn good game. Like, ship battles are one of my favorite things,
Yeah,
and I enjoy. I platinumed this. This is one of my first platinums on the PlayStation, and it is a multiplayer platinum for me. PvP stuff, you're not gonna see me PvP. Um, it, however, I have to give so much props to the company. Yeah, they were shitting on people because they wanted more money, and then they found out, oh wait, we're not getting more money. And was it just caving, or was it them actually realizing, hey, maybe we should actually not be shitty people? So I can't say, but regardless, they turned a shit game and they made it into a great game. Zombie Don, his worst game was Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2017 release. I don't agree with it. I agree they had some shady business dealings for sure. Um, but I wouldn't say the worst Star Wars game ever.
because it's
I
just its
still,
own. I had so much
yeah,
expectation for this game. When the trailer came out, it was, well, at least at the time, I was still naive, and I still believe in trailers, which one thing the
yeah,
game
but don't.
did, I don't anymore. But yeah, it could have been so much more. And it is
And
so
it,
much more now, but it's wasted because nobody's playing because it has a very well deserved shitty reputation. And I cannot argue with anyone that tells me this game is crap and came out because they don't know it's good now.